Hey everybody, what's up? This is the Cowboy Corner Show. I am the Cowboy and I am in the corner as always. And I just thank you so much for tuning in. And we're going to have a football show tonight. There's been a lot of things taking place in the past week, football wise, be it NFL, be it college. So I want to go ahead and just talk about that. We're going to have a real quick show tonight and go through it. But hey, I thank you for tuning in. We've got Cowboy Carson, the producer, over there on the producer desk. He is not a Cowboy and he is not in the corner, but he is here nonetheless. And of course, we've got Cowboy Creed over there on the editing table. So he's helping us out as well. It takes a team to make this show happen. And I'm glad to have these guys. And I'm glad that you are tuning in. So, first things first, Monday Night Football. It was interesting. Not necessarily interesting because of the score, because of the game, because it was pretty much a blowout. It was all one-sided, full-blown Patriots. And, the Patriots are 11-2 now. And I never would have thought, like, if you would have told me at the beginning of the season that the Patriots were going to run 11-2 this year so far, I would have bet the house on that they were not. Like, they were all right last year. I don't remember what their record was, but they weren't that good. I wouldn't have thought that they would be where they are now. I think they're first place in their division. And, Buffalo's ran that division for the past 5 years. The Patriots obviously had it before in the Brady and Belichick era. That's kind of a tongue twister to say. But I wouldn't have thought that it would have been like it is, but it is. Anyway, I don't know what Jaxson Dart is doing. Like, I like the kid. He's a good player. I think he's trying a little too hard to prove his toughness. And he's already, he's just been in concussion protocol. He missed like 2 or 3 weeks because of concussion protocol. And then last night, like, he's out there running around like a madman and, getting smoked. We've got a video of that one hit if you want to go ahead and play that. And here it is, like, boom. I mean, he got laid out. Bam. And then just flies. That's a tough hit. But the thing is, he set himself up for it, and it's legal. And a lot of the Giants fans were angry about that, and I really don't blame them. I mean, you see your quarterback just get smoked like that, like, you're gonna be upset about it. But it was a legal hit, so there was no flag. But that's what I'm saying. He's setting himself up for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. He's just. Because you have somebody like Drake May, like, this is only his, like, second year. And he's, like, I mean, he's led his, what used to be a pretty, like, okay team to 10-2 and, like, the first in their division. And Jaxson Dart, he's a rookie. He's just, like, I don't know. He's going to end up like Tua if he doesn't protect himself. Like, I mean, like, I understand trying to be, like, gritty and trying, like, really hard to win. But I feel like what you said, like, he's just trying too hard,
Yeah, I think he's just, and I like I said, I like him, and I think that is a good quarterback, but he's not going to last long like that. Not taking those kind of hits. Like, you're a quarterback, you've got to run out of bounds. Like, you can't, like you said, Tua, the same thing happened with Cam Newton. Like, Cam Newton was always out there, being a half running back, and he was good at it. But the problem is, it didn't last long. You can't take those kind of hits all the time, especially as a quarterback. Like, you're expected to have more of a career as a quarterback than, your typical running back. Those guys are usually in the league for like 3 years and then they're gone. And that's because they take so many hits. But, yeah, he's just getting blown up like that. And he's going to have to, I know that he's even had people telling him, like, Troy Aikman was mentioning it last night on the broadcast. Like, you got to run out of bounds in that situation. You don't have anything to lose, because the Giants are 2-11, so they're the opposite of the Patriots at 11-2. But the Giants are sitting there at 2-11. It's not like gaining an extra yard, is going to do anything to help you out. You were getting blown out in the game. If you're playing like in a playoff game and you're going down the field in the fourth quarter for a win, then by all means you got to stay in. Get as many yards as you can and take the hit. Nobody's going to say anything. But in the situation like last night, yeah, that was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
it's just really bad playmaking, like, really bad playmaking abilities,
bad decision making. And then there was also like the laughable moment. I don't even know. I've watched football in my entire life, and I've never seen anything like this happen at the professional level. And I know that like everybody has a bad moment, and when you're doing it on a Monday night football game, like it's going to be blast nationally. But like I don't know what happened, and it's almost ridiculous enough to the point that I'm wondering like, was there something riding on this? Was there money involved? Like, how does a kicker at the NFL level? You go ahead and roll that video. How does a kicker at the NFL level do something like this? Like, not even hit you don't even not even make contact with the ball. I don't know how this happens. Like if you're at, a high school game, maybe even like a D2 college game, you're going to have guys out there that don't really know what they're doing, and you may see that kind of mistake. But when you've got a guy that's made it all the way to the NFL, that's the elite of the elite in any position, and to not even make contact with the ball, what do you got on that?
I actually saw a video earlier today of that kicker saying that it was the hold, and he bobbled the hold. But I don't think the hold has anything to do with it. When you kick it straight to the ground, you don't even come close to the ball.
When your foot's not even, like, show the video again, and let's concentrate on the hold and see, because it looked like a good hold to me. Snap.
Maybe bobbled a little bit, but
I didn't really see anything.
That's no excuse to just kick it straight to the ground.
Unless, like, maybe through the kicker's eyes, he's thinking that it's bobbled and maybe the holder's going to drop it. And so maybe he stopped his own foot. Like, maybe he thought the ball wasn't going to be there. I don't know. Like, it's so weird.
Like, I seriously have no idea. I mean, I'm not an NFL holder or a kicker, so I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of, like,
it looks like a good hold to me. Like, I'm not seeing anything that, is bad enough that you're going to just totally hit the ground with your foot. I don't know.
I mean, it just looks like a usual hold, like nothing out of the ordinary.
Strange. And that's what, like, I'm not accusing the guy of doing anything shady, but like, something at that level, like you shouldn't miss a kick like that. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, the Patriots ended up, winning that game handedly, and now the Giants are 2-11. I don't know that they even know who their coach is at this point, and so I think that Jaxson Dart is going to be a good quarterback. I think he's the quarterback they need. I think they've got the team they need. They've got Cam Scatterboo, who is also injured right now, but I mean he was a monster when he was playing. I think the Giants are going to be okay, but Jaxson Dart's going to have to stop sacrificing his self like that, because he's not proving anything to anybody except that he doesn't have good decision making, and that's not something that you need in the NFL. And so, moving on to college, the other big news in the college program is obviously we've got some the playoff bracket is getting released, and things have changed up a little bit because of this past week and the rivalry games, and like Texas A&M got upset by Texas. Everything else is pretty much remaining the same. Ohio State's number one. They handed it to Michigan. I thought that game was going to be closer than it was, and even would not have been surprised with the Michigan upset just because they played in Michigan. It was snowing. That rivalry game, you never know how that's going to go, because teams just bring a different type of I don't know what my word I'm looking for is. They just play differently in that game. So, but Ohio State beat them handedly, so they are definitely a number one team. You've got Indiana still at number two, which I don't remember who they played. I think it was like Purdue, and they beat them by a ton. I'm very surprised by Indiana. I mean, they were good last year, but they got smoked in the playoff game, first playoff game of the year, and then this year they've just been putting it to everybody that they play. So Georgia's in third. Yes, Texas Tech, my boys at Tech, have moved up to 4. They are sitting in 4th with the first-round bye. I mean, that's awesome for Texas Tech. They've still got to play BYU again, though, in the Big 12 championship, a rematch. and I wouldn't just give that to them walking away. They beat BYU good a couple weeks ago when they played them in the regular season. But BYU's a good team. Their quarterback wears number 47, so I like that guy just because he's a quarterback and wears number 47. Creed thinks that that's dumb that a quarterback wears 47. I think it's cool. Like, I want a guy to have a different number, you know?
I mean, that's like a punter's number, you know?
Yeah. Or
I mean,
like
I guess I can respect it for being different, but it's just weird.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. He's number 47. He's a quarterback, and he's good. So I'm not just handing that to Texas Tech. I think they'll win. They should win. They're number 4 in the country, but they've still got to do it. So that's cool. And then we've got my other team, Oregon. I mean, I've been a Oregon fan for the majority of my life. If you don't believe me, I have a Oregon, some kind of memorabilia up there on my shelf here. I mean, I don't know how that necessarily proves that I'm a lifelong fan, but I am. They're sitting pretty at number 5, so they don't know who they're going to play yet because they've got to get through some conference championships like the ACC. Number 6 is Ole Miss. We're going to get more to that later. Number 7, Texas A&M. They fell to 7, so they lost their first round bye, but they didn't fall out of the playoffs, and I think that's a good call. They should stay there. Then we've got OU at number 8, Alabama at number 9, and then number 10 is going to be Notre Dame. Number 11 and 12 are still TBD, which means conference championships have to play out, and then they'll get a couple people in there. I kind of hope Vanderbilt makes it in because I like Vandy because they're just a cool underdog story. They've got a quarterback that's local. His family is crazy as a bunch of pet coons, but he's a baller. You can't take that away from him. So I think like his brother got arrested and something. Did you hear about any of that?
I had no idea. I mean, I know that he's local. He's from New Mexico. Mm-hmm. I had no idea how crazy his family was, though.
Yeah, they're a bunch of locos. And I think his brother got arrested for public intoxication after the Tennessee game. They had a big Vanderbilt flag. I should have pulled some of this up. I didn't prepare for it. Sorry, but I think they had a big Vanderbilt flag at the Tennessee game. They were blocking people's views, and then some fans got in their face, told them to leave, or not told them to leave, but told them to take the flag down. Security had to get involved, and then he got a PI, so not pass interference, public intoxication. So, yeah, that's how the college playoff thing. That's all just been announced, the new bracket as of today because of last week's game. So that's where everything is taking place there. I don't have a graphic for that either. Sorry, but back to Ole Miss. So Ole Miss is number 6 in the playoff bracket. They're going to have a first round home game, and they have just lost their coach, Lane Kiffin, because he went to LSU. And that's I don't know. It's a very weird paradox that the coach, and he's led them to the best season in their 132 years history. They've never had an 11-win regular season and host a playoff game in the entire history of Ole Miss. And it's very old school. And, he led them to that. And I like Lane Kiffin. I think he's a cool guy, but I don't understand his decision. And then he's going to LSU, which is a SEC rival school. So that adds another element of, chaos on top of it. It's not like he's going off to another school across the country that doesn't really have a tie-in with Ole Miss and a rivalry. He's going to a rival in the middle of the season. And I don't really understand a lot of this. He says that there's not any more. He didn't say that there's no more money involved. He said actually that he doesn't even know how much money he's making. He doesn't know about the contract. He let his agent decide that, and he's basically just leaving it up to his agent on that part. He's just wanting more money for the players because obviously, you buy your college football teams now. But, you don't leave. It doesn't make sense to me, and I can't even put my words together because that's how baffled I am in the whole situation. He's saying that he's better set up to win if he goes to LSU. But he's already winning at Ole Miss. Like, they've given him everything, obviously, that he needs to win because he's doing it. He's got a one-loss season in the SEC, and he's in the first round of the playoff game or the playoff series with the home game for the first time ever. He's already winning. What is he going to do at LSU that's any better? He's going to have to start over. And if he's not making anything else, I don't get it. And he's changed jobs. I don't even have a list of the jobs that he's been to, but he coached at Tennessee. He coached for the Oakland Raiders. He coached for USC. He went to Alabama as an offensive coordinator under Nick Saban. Then he left Alabama to go somewhere else. Nick Saban fired him because of the same thing, that he left in the middle of the season, so he got fired. Then he went to Central Florida, UCF, I think, coached there before he went to Ole Miss. So he's been around the world. And now he's saying that this is the best job in college football, and that's why he had to go there. And they're going to set him up to win, even though he was already winning. So, here's my deal. Another thing that he said is that he talked to God, and God told him that he's supposed to go to LSU. Well, a lot of people are giving him a hard time about that. Now, that in itself, that's not for me to say that he did or didn't, or to say that they, that God told him to do that. He may have. I don't know. But you can't go back later and say that, give it 5 years, say that the job at Alabama comes up, the job at Georgia comes up, the job at one of these big-time schools comes up, Ohio State maybe, and then they offer him a job and he leaves. Well, then what did God tell you? God's not going to tell you that you have to be at LSU because that's the best job in college football, and then, in a few years you're gone, because that seems to be his pattern. Now, I can't accuse him of that because we just have to wait and let that play itself out. But, that's the Lane Kiffin debacle. And he was ran out of town yesterday on they sent a private jet for him, LSU did, and picked him up. And the fans booed him out of town and flipped him off and sent him packing. But I just don't know. A lot of times people will say that God told them to do something just because that kind of takes out the fact of you being able to argue with them, because you can't say, well, I'm not going to argue with God. If he told you that that's what you're supposed to do, then I can't say anything to correct that, when actually that's the only reason that they're saying that is because you can't correct them. And then 6 months down the road, the whole thing has changed. And, God doesn't change. When God tells you to do something, that's what you're going to be expected to do from here on out, because he doesn't change. So we'll just have to see how that plays itself out.
I have this article pulled up. It says, Kiffin claims people tried to run us off the road and hit us and run us off the road on his drive to the airport. Kiffin had his son Knox in the vehicle with him. Kiffin, concerned for their safety, calls cops for, I guess, protection. I mean, Ole Miss fans are clearly not happy about him leaving, and I mean, that's understandable.
Yeah, they shouldn't be. And again, it's not even really the fact that he's leaving. It's just the fact that he's leaving to LSU, who is a SEC rival school, and he's doing it in the middle of the season. This whole thing could have waited. That we're almost at the end of the season. The playoffs are about to start, and then, they've got another game or two left, depending on how this plays out, if they win or not. They could have worked it out and said, he could have said, yeah, I'm going to come to LSU after the season's over, then just kept it on the lowdown. I don't understand why they did this right now. I mean, he's not going to be coaching for LSU, and now, not this season, and now he's not going to be coaching for Ole Miss. And so that just sets everything from the players. They've lost all of their, motivation. They've gone from, this champion mindset to now they're kind of being pointed fingers at, and I don't know. It's a very weird deal, and I don't really understand it.
I mean, it really doesn't make any sense. You have 2 or 3 more games left in the college football season. All you have to do is they go to the playoffs, and then even if they don't make it to the national championship, just go to LSU next year. But now you have to get used to a whole roster of new players, whole new playbook, all these different styles of playing with 2-3 games left in the season. Like, it's just, I don't know what his logic or anything behind this, or if God told him to do it, but I don't know. It just really doesn't make a lot of sense, like, logically at all.
Yeah, it doesn't. And once again, like the whole people are giving him a hard time about him saying that God told him to do it. Like I said, yeah, get direction from God. That's what you're supposed to do. And if God told him to do that, then, I have nothing to argue with him about. I mean, if he's in the will of God, it's all going to play itself out. But I've followed this sport for many, many years, and Lane Kiffin's been around for many, many years, and he's never stayed put, ever. And so the fact that he's saying that, like, I'm going to have to watch it play itself out. And, if God told him to do it, if he's there in the will of God, then it's going to show. He's going to have the fruit that goes with that. And he's going to win. And I think he will win. I mean, I think he'll do good at LSU. I just think he kind of did Ole Miss dirty. And then he wanted to stay and coach him out. And, of course, the Ole Miss athletic director sent him packing, which he should. And then Kiffin turned around and kind of played the victim card, like, well, I wanted to stay and coach him out. Well, bro, you're the one that quit and told him you're going to a division rival. Like, that's on you. They're not going to have you. If you work a job in anything that has a competitive industry, any type of sales position, and you say to your boss, like, hey, I've accepted a job at our number one competitor, they're not going to let you continue to work out for a remainder of time so that you can recruit other employees, his coaching staff, and bring all those guys with him. Like, you got to go, man. That's how that works. And then you don't turn around and play the victim. Like, you're the one that, you're doing what God told you to do, allegedly, so just let it be and let it go. That's all I'm saying. And I think that's all I have to say about that. Do you have anything else?
I don't have anything. I also didn't do a lot of research in this. So
yeah, well, I did my fair share, but that's my forte there. So we're gonna end the show, but before we do, we just got a little bit of a poll that we want to run out here for you, and because going back to that Patriots and Giants game last night, the Patriots, man, those uniforms were so cool. I liked those red throwback uniforms. So then today. Earlier today, I just started thinking, what are the best NFL throwback uniforms? And I came up with my top 6. And, I mean, it's tight because I like all of these uniforms, but this is the top 6 that I came up with. Now, this isn't in the order. This is just the way that I have them down. But the first one I've got is the Eagles in their Kelly green. If we could pop that up. I just think that these uniforms are coming up anytime. Here we go. These uniforms, I just really like that Kelly green. It's not a far stretch from their current uniforms, but the green is brighter. It's not like the forest green, and I just think it looks really, really sharp. And then just like the helmet design with that more just monotone silver and white eagle wings on the helmets.
Yeah, every time I see those, I get reminded of that football movie with Mark Wahlberg in it.
Yeah, Invincible.
Yeah.
Because that's the uniforms they wore back then in the 80s. Well, I mean, they wore them more than just the 80s, but yeah, those are awesome uniforms. So we'll move to the next one, which these, because of last night, from what we saw the Patriots wearing, the throwback with the red jerseys, the white helmets. Yeah, look at that. That's Drake May just about to drop a dime on somebody. I didn't like those uniforms when I was a kid, and they were still playing with them back in like the early 80s. I didn't like them, but they're way better than the ones they came out with in the whatever that was, mid 90s, when they came up with the blue and silver and the new little Patriots flag logo guy on the helmet. Like, these are way better. I really like them. Next up is going to be the Buccaneers and their creamsicle. This is another one that I wasn't crazy about when they currently played them. And I think it's just because the team was so bad. Like, the Buccaneers were terrible back when they wore these uniforms before they switched to the more like red and gray and black that they currently wear mostly. But now I really like these, which I like orange. Orange is my favorite color. And that creamsicle and they're playing good. I like Baker Mayfield. I didn't like him in college, but I've liked him since he's become a pro, and especially with this little resurgence. I really like these Tampa Bay Buccaneers in their creamsicle uniforms. What do you think?
Yeah, these I used to actually like really not like these, but they've definitely grown on me a lot more. I don't really know what it is. I don't know if it's just because the team's better or what.
That has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, but they've definitely grown on me a lot.
Like, it's kind of a ridiculous color, but you can, if you're winning, you can look ridiculous.
Yeah, they pull it off.
Yeah, if you're winning, you can look ridiculous. If you're losing and you're wearing a orangish pink, nah, people are just gonna laugh at you. But next, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This one is my number one. It's kind of a toss up from here down, but this one is my number one. The Denver Broncos and what I'm gonna call their orange crush. Like, again, I like orange. I like blue. I like the logo with the D and the flame-breathing, snorting Bronco coming out of it. I used to think it was a unicorn because it had, like, you can't really see it there, but it has like a on the top of the head, but it's actually like a hoof coming up. But these uniforms are timeless. They're classic. The Orange Crush Bronco defense from back in the day was just amazing, and I like Bo Nix because he's an Oregon guy. I don't necessarily like the Broncos. They're not my favorite team, but I like those uniforms. And when they're playing in them, man, I just want to watch the game just to watch the uniforms. Next up, we're down to the last two. The Atlanta Falcons in their throwback reds. These are cool because back in the Deion Sanders prime time when he first got drafted and came out, that's the uniforms they were wearing. I like them. They're definitely not my favorite of the group. They're probably my least favorite of the group, but they're still sick. I still like them a lot. You like them?
I mean, yeah, like you said, they're probably my least favorite, but I think they're only my least favorite because they're really close to just their original, like, home jerseys.
Yeah, I like them more plain. Their numbers are more plain. The Falcon logo on the side is more plain, and I just like it better than when they just try to overdo it. Last but not least, because I like these a lot too, we're going to go with the Seahawks and their throwback blues. And, yeah, that's another classic.
I mean, these are my favorite out of all of them.
Yeah, they're up there. I like that shade of blue better than their current darker shade. The number font with just that, old block style font. I like it. I like the logo better. The whole thing. Less is more in my opinion.
I mean, like, those silver helmets are so nice.
Yeah. Yep, they're cool, and they just look fast. They look tough. They look, Brian Bosworth coming out somewhere and just laying somebody out until he meets Bo Jackson and the opposite happens. But, yeah, I like those. And so I guess that's it. I don't know if anybody else has anything else to talk about before we close this thing down.
I don't have anything.
Cowboy Corner football special tonight, just to go over the things that we have had transpire in the past week. Just wanted to take a few minutes. I don't know how long we actually took here, but hey, I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I am the Cowboy. I am in the corner. We will be back with a live show again at some point next week. I'll keep you updated. Thank you for watching, and we will see you later.